Come on, Soda Pop, let's go.
Good evening, Greg Neitzert, Sioux Falls. In recent years, user fees have been increasing, substantially in some cases. The most obvious examples are water and sewer rates. We've seen our water rates almost double. Now the city is proposing enormous increases in outdoor pool rates. All of these increases come at a time when we are experiencing record tax revenues. The mayor himself refers to our city as a boomtown. In the last 10 years, sales tax collections are up 62% and property tax collections have doubled. We're literally swimming in revenue. We are spending enormous amounts of money on leisure and entertainment venues, some of which are private and most by virtue of their costs will not be accessible by many or even most citizens. Examples include the indoor tennis and hockey facilities, which are both private, the Washington Pavilion, the Event Center, and now the indoor pool. Ostensibly, these user fees are increasing so that the fee paid by the user more closely reflects the cost of the service provided. If the city were a private business, that would make sense. If your fee didn't reflect the cost of the service, you'd go out of business after all. But the city isn't a business, it's a government. And unlike a business, you have an additional significant revenue stream. It's called taxes. We're all paying forced user fees in effect, whether we like it or not, and whether or not we use a particular service. Since you have this additional revenue stream, you don't have to charge the true cost to every recipient of a service to break even. We can subsidize certain services we wish to make accessible to everyone. As an example, we can charge citizens who use our outdoor pools far less than what the service actually costs if we choose to. If we choose to prioritize our tax dollars, we can do it very easily, in fact. We've done exactly that for a number of years. Why would the city want or need to raise user fees, for example, water rates, at a time when tax collections are at record highs? The answer seems obvious. We need to make room in the budget to pay for all of this spending on entertainment venues. Even with record revenues, money is still finite. By shifting capital improvements on our water and sewer system to enterprise funds, funded by user fees, we free up millions of dollars in the CIP for bond payments, construction costs, and capital improvements on entertainment. Sales tax dollars once used for critical infrastructure are now being used to pay for expensive leisure options for select groups. This cost shift is brilliant and cynical at the same time. It sounds so logical. Why not charge people who actually use the service? In actuality, since we all continue to pay taxes, and now we have a huge increase in user fees like our water bill, we've all endured a large stealth tax increase, and most people don't even realize it. In effect, every citizen is paying for the event center every month when they get their water bill. As they say, there's no free lunch. Little old ladies on a fixed income are paying more for their water so I can see an Ed Sheeran concert. The same is true for all of the other leisures we've constructed or funded in recent years. The people who can least afford them are impacted the most by these user fee increases and are funding entertainment for those of us who can afford it. This entire paradigm is morally reprehensible. Even more unbelievable, although we've had record tax revenues over the last decade and user fees are rising, in some cases substantially, we've quadrupled the city debt load from $92 million to $360 million. We're increasing our spending much faster than our revenues are growing, which is incredible, given that we're growing our revenues so quickly. Obviously, we don't have a revenue problem, we have a spending problem, and we have a priorities problem. Those of us doing well have more entertainment options than ever before. A large segment of our residents, perhaps even the majority, don't have the disposable income to enjoy all of these options. And they're being asked to pay for them through increased user fees such as water and sewer and other core services have to be cut, eliminated, or delayed to make room for the spending. And now we're proposing to make those citizens pay for our entertainment through huge increases in pool rates. The city proposes to quadruple the cost of a season pass for a child, double the cost of a season pass for a family or a senior, eliminate free passes for reduced income families, and to limit the definition of a family to 5 people. The city also proposes to increase daily rates, and all of these huge increases won't even get you into the indoor pool. You'll have to buy a separate pass at a cost of $300 a person for that privilege. Anyone who is naive enough to believe the indoor pool was for all citizens ought to know better by now. This proposal, given our current revenues, is totally unnecessary and frankly offensive. We certainly have the operating budget to subsidize the cost of outdoor pools for our citizens, particularly for those with lower incomes if we simply choose to. At a time we are spending tens of millions of dollars on facilities a minority of us will ever use, the least we can do is keep our outdoor pools affordable for the rest of our citizens. We have the money. We just have to make it a priority. It's time to put the average citizen first. It's time to stop making the average citizen and those without a voice shoulder the burden for all of the spending. say no to these fee increases. Thank you.
Thank you, Greg. Really appreciate that. Folks, is there anybody else who wanted to engage the council? Welcome.
Bruce Danielson, Sioux Falls. I attended my first park board meeting today and recorded it for Sioux Falls to see when I get it posted. And while I was sitting there, and over the last few months I've been thinking about this more and more often, is why can't the city of Sioux Falls also record these meetings so we can witness the thoughtful discussion I saw today? We waste city resources on so many fluff pieces being played on CityLink that we seem to be highlighting certain people and certain events in town that have very little to do with how the city should be governed. Why not make our boards and committees more public? We witnessed a group of 7 Sioux Falls residents remind the Parks Department that the parks and pools are for everyone today. Promises were made by this administration prior to the 2014 vote. There would not be a 2-tier rate system for indoor versus outdoor pool use. We expect the promises to be kept. The indoor pool is still a neighborhood pool in Spellerberg. Why should the Spellerberg families not be allowed to swim like everybody else? If you have a 2-tier rate system for the indoor pool versus the outdoor pool, the people in Spellerberg are going to be discriminated against on the pool system. So we were promised, and we have it up online, the 4 videos that show exactly what Don Kearney had promised us, and we would like to see that held true.
Come on, Soda Pop, let's go. Come on, let's go. Come on.